Hello, this is going to be a quick video on how to do some simple data transformations using only Vim. Vim is a text editor that is available for free, and I don't want to say it's easy to learn, but you can learn it pretty easily. Uh, yeah, and you can get started pretty easily. Um, you're never going to master it, so just keep that in the back of your mind while you make progress time after time. The point is, I want to do some data transformations. I want to take this data that I've got here. Uh, this is raw data. It's public data, slightly obfuscated, but I want to get these numbers at the beginning and put that up here. So it would have that number here and the same number here. So I'm trying to make technically a batch file or a bash script. But I need to clean up this data first. So first thing I'm going to do is figure out what my motion is going to be, what my action is going to be. I'm going to want to get here to that first comma and then hit capital D to erase everything after it. I can do that manually. There's 43,000 lines though, so I probably don't want to do that 43,000 times. With a recording keyboard, I could probably do that, but that's still not fun. Let's see, do that real quick with this guy. Let's go record, delete, down right, and unrecord, and playback, 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 playback. So that's one key press, but this is this is ridiculous. I'm using a tool that's very strong and powerful. I'm not using it properly. So what I'm going to do first is make a macro. The macro is going to be run on each individual line, and it'll run one after the other. So I'll run the macro, then I'll run it again. So that means that where my cursor starts is important. So I'm going to start at the beginning of the line. I just want to make sure that I leave off in a place that'll work after the macro is done. Macro is just a recording of the keystrokes that you did and then a playback of it. And that's within Vim. So we're moving this around, keep cursor around. We want to get to where we're going to start. I'm going to hit Q to start a recording, and then hit Q to save where I want that recording to be saved, and it's going to save it in the Q memory slot. So right now it's recording all of my keystrokes, and you can see the recording thing down here. And that just means that it's going to play back whatever I type in now. So from this position of my cursor, I'm going to hit W. That'll take me to the end of the first set of first word, technically. And that's to my comma, and I want to delete everything after this. Capital D. Boom. And I can hit down, and I can hit home to go back to the beginning of the line. Although technically I don't really need to, but whatever. Now I'm done recording that. All I did was delete it and move it down a line and reset the cursor. And I hit Q to finish that recording. And then I can play it back with @ Q. @ Q. Or once you've already typed it in once, it'll play back the last macro if you hit @ Also boring. No one wants to do that. You can set it to run for all of the items. So if I hit @ or @Q, that's a command technically. And in Vim, you can multiply commands by just typing in numbers first. So let's see, we've got 43,105 lines left. Let's say 43,105. That's popping up down here. @Q. So it's going to repeat that Q macro 43,105 times. And it's a little bit slow. And macros generally are, especially when you start getting into the tens of thousands of rows. So it's generally recommended. You can do something a little bit more permanent, a little bit faster. Doing a replace is a lot better. A full find swap or full file swap is a much better choice. And to prove that, if I sat here for several minutes, it would probably come up just fine, but we're not going to wait for that. I'll Control-C, cancel this request. And it made it to line 13,000. That's not enough. It would have taken way too long. What we're going to do instead is write a quick quick. It's not that quick. This is a regular expression and a global find swap anything that's it's taking the thing that's before the first comma and erasing the line and replacing it with just that thing. So I can get into regular expressions later. That just looks like a mess. Trust me, it always looks like a mess. But it's not that hard to figure out. And if you build it slowly, I don't want to say I just typed that out first, the first time perfect. But if you build it and you practice, you can get a lot better on it. But running this is significantly faster. So that took everything. It was all 43,000 lines. That's another option. From here, I'm going to want to make it look like this. And I'm going to start with this section here just because it's easier to expand into. So I'm going to write easy motion is killing me. Come on, easy motion. There we go. Append, control, or capital A, that, and then a space. And I'm going to run that against all the remaining lines. And that's just a period repeat statement. And it repeats off of every point on the line, every line that you select. So in this case, that cursor blinking rapidly is indicating it's doing lots of rows, but 43,000 is sure taking some time, and that's boring. So let's cancel that. Let's see where you made it to. 15,000, come on. Terrible, it's a third of the way. Undo. So let's do another one of these. This is one way of doing it. Imagine that you had a smaller set of data. You could just do it that way. Period repeats the last motion. The last motion is capital A, append, that, end line. And I can hit period, append it, highlight the lines, hit period, and it'll dump that right there. Similarly, I can go to here and copy those over. And then it's just a matter of this here. There we go. Append to the line, .txt. And then add this to the beginning. And that's easy enough. And that's just doing it with without any kind of special coding or anything or any macros. That's just messing around. You would have to do it a little bit better for something like this. And we can do this pretty easily. Make this. And for this, swap new line character or beginning of line character with that. So I have to escape this stuff. And let's see what that looks like. I didn't like that at all. There we go. So that just took every line and dropped it right there. And now we would want to take this and add to the end of all these lines. And the end of line is this character. Add to it this guy with a space before and after. You can see we're already going pretty fast, and I'm approaching the free recording limit. And then we just do one of these jobbies. And getting beer. There we go. And then do the same thing, but at the end of the line, add .txt. Boom. We did it. Hooray.